Woman shot dead by stray bullet while sleeping at home. Oakland, California, a mother of two was fatally shot by a stray bullet inside her home in the Laurel District, police identified on Tuesday as Wing-In Wong. Currently, there have been no arrests related to the incident. The shooting occurred around 9:40 p.m. on Friday when the victim was lying on a chair inside her home on 38th Avenue. Wing-In Wong's husband and two children were also present in the house but were unharmed. Police reported that a confrontation had occurred a block away in the area of 39th Avenue and Masterson Street, where a group of individuals had gathered and exchanged gunfire. One bullet pierced through the window of Wing-In Wong's home, striking her. The victim was transported to the hospital and pronounced dead at 10:15 p.m. on Friday. Police are working to determine the cause of the altercation and why the shooting took place. Some vehicles were hit by gunfire, but no additional victims have been found. Several shell casings were discovered at the scene. Another woman was also shot and injured while sleeping in her own home in East Oakland, just a few days later. The most recent shooting occurred around 1:20 a.m. on Monday at an apartment building near 92nd Avenue and Holly Street in East Oakland. The victim was asleep in her apartment when someone fired shots into her ground floor unit. The victim was struck in the neck and is in critical condition at the hospital. Police are investigating this incident as well. Man charged with rape and illegally tattooing a minor. Camden County, Georgia, a man has been charged with rape, according to an announcement from the police department. Quang Duang Nguyen, 43, residing in St. Mary's, has been arrested on charges of illegally tattooing a person under the age of 18, providing, purchasing, or possessing alcohol for minors, and rape. Currently, Quang Duang Nguyen is being held at the Camden County Jail. Investigators are continuing to gather additional evidence. The police department has stated that it is possible the suspect may face additional charges as the investigation progresses. Jewelry store robbery nets nearly $250,000 worth of watches. Newport Beach, California, a swift heist unfolded in just 20 seconds as robbers targeted a jewelry store, making off with watches valued at nearly $250,000. Kenny Nguyen, an employee at the jewelry counter, was on duty when the robbery occurred. Despite the store having a steel security door and a doorbell to admit customers, an individual inside the store held the door open, allowing three suspects dressed in black with masks to infiltrate. Surveillance cameras captured images of the group, with the man holding the security door while the robbers stormed inside. One of the suspects used a hammer to shatter glass cases and snatch the watches, stuffing them into bags. Kenny Nguyen mentioned that upon seeing the three men entering, he rushed to the back and triggered the alarm. The group vanished within seconds, taking with them nearly 20 watches valued at around $250,000. While the store cleaned up the glass, traces of the robbery lingered. Store owner Alberto Frojo noted that other jewelry stores in the area had also been recently targeted. Frojo confirmed that he had insurance, but he expressed sadness that the thieves had taken valuable items with sentimental value to customers. Currently, the police have no leads on the suspects involved in this robbery. Asian woman arrested with methamphetamine during traffic stop. Lincoln, Nebraska, a woman was arrested on Tuesday after police discovered methamphetamine in her vehicle in West Lincoln. Around 9 p.m., police reported that they pulled over the vehicle of Hung Pham, 37 years old, on Interstate 80 for multiple traffic violations. During a traffic stop, an officer noticed an open bag with suspected methamphetamine inside. Police proceeded to search the vehicle and found 3.99 pounds of methamphetamine and $5,100 in cash, according to police information. Hung Pham was arrested and charged with possession of methamphetamine with intent to distribute. Elderly employee injured while attempting to resist robber. Los Angeles, California, surveillance cameras captured the moment when a store employee was punched in the face while trying to thwart a robber in the Chinatown district. Van Huynh was working alone when the robbery occurred around noon on Thursday at Angie's Boutique, located at 800 North Broadway. Store owner John Gwynn said the victim's left eye was swollen and bruised after the brutal assault. The stolen items were valued at approximately $5,000, according to John Gwynn. A man entered the store, which specializes in water pipes, artworks, and collectibles. He grabbed an item from the display window, and as Van Huynh attempted to intervene, the robber pushed her aside, reached over the counter to grab another expensive item, and then struck the victim before fleeing. The video only shows one man inside the store, but the Los Angeles Police Department stated that investigators are searching for two individuals. John Gwynn mentioned that he had actually encountered the assailant on Wednesday, but the man claimed he wasn't ready to make a purchase and left. The same robber returned for similar items on Thursday. Charges dropped against suspect in sexual assault cases. Triangle, Virginia, a Fairfax County judge has decided to drop charges against a suspect believed to be the perpetrator in multiple sexual assault cases. Hien the Din was arrested in July on multiple charges related to a series of sexual assaults that occurred across northern Virginia. At the time, he was already in custody for a separate sexual assault charge from last year in Henrico County. The charges dropped on Tuesday were connected to an incident in Chantilly. According to reports, the victim was an adult woman walking with her mother and sister when the suspect abruptly attacked her from behind, touched her inappropriately, and attempted to restrain her. The judge determined that there was insufficient evidence to proceed with the case. Fairfax County officials emphasized the seriousness with which they view sexual assault charges and stated that the prosecution presented the strongest possible case during preliminary hearings. Hien the Din remains in custody and will be transferred to Loudoun County to face similar charges when he appears in court on Wednesday. Family seeks answers in teacher's death following collision with cyclist. Manhattan, New York, friends and family are seeking answers after a beloved community member passed away just days after a collision with a cyclist. Priscilla Loke, the deputy director of the Chinatown Head Start, was involved in the incident earlier this month while on her way to work. The incident was reported at the intersection of Christie and Grand Streets on September 5. Traffic had come to a halt, and pedestrians were crossing, which meant that the bike lane should have had a red light. Following the collision, Ms. Loke never regained consciousness and was taken off life support on September 8, 3 days after the accident. The collision was captured on video, and the cyclist was seen speaking with the police afterward, but he left the scene on his bicycle once they approached the victim. The NYPD has been unable to locate him since. Please come forward because the family deserves answers, they should know what happened, one way or another, said Willington Chen of the Chinatown bid. Loke's family and friends are sending a letter to the NYPD requesting those answers. They are questioning why the man was allowed to leave, whether they know his identity, and why the Collision Investigation Squad, responsible for investigating fatal and serious accidents, did not respond and close the intersection for nearly an hour afterward. Ms. Loke had been looking forward to retirement. This has robbed her from my family's life, much like a grandmother, said her grandchild, Wang Wai-ho. While Loke had no children of her own, she had been dedicated to children at Chinatown Head Start, which she had helped manage for over 30 years, as well as to her grandchildren and great-grandchildren. Spending more time with them was a significant part of her retirement plan. Family and friends say they want the cyclist responsible for the accident to understand the consequences of his decisions that day, especially if he continues to ride a bike on the streets. Woman hides in closet and calls for help as robbers invade home. Westminster, California, a woman concealed herself in a closet and dialed 911 to report a home invasion and violent robbery on Monday evening in Westminster. Police said armed robbers forced their way into the residence, pushing a man to the ground and using a stun gun to threaten him. 4 others were bound in the living room as the assailants demanded to be led to the location of valuable assets. Homeowner Tony Nguyen stated that the robbery group entered through a window. Security camera footage from the house showed family members, including a 7-year-old and a 14-year-old, lying on the floor with one of the armed robbers wielding a weapon to intimidate them. A woman residing in the home hid in a closet and called 911, whispering to the dispatcher that she needed help. The caller, at that moment, spoke very softly, saying, "Help, please." The 911 operator inquired about what was happening, and the caller responded, "I don't know. I don't know. Please." Police responded around 10:40 p.m. on Monday to 8900 Pebble Beach Circle. Upon their arrival, 4 individuals fled the front door, wearing masks and carrying firearms. One man was apprehended when he threw a gun over a brick wall. This weapon was reported as stolen, according to the police. Danny Sami, 27 years old, faces 1 count of kidnapping for robbery and 5 counts of armed robbery, all of which are serious charges, with enhancements for using a gun and a stun device during the attack, according to court records. Other suspects remain at large. The victims include an elderly woman, a 14-year-old boy, and a 7-year-old girl. No serious injuries were reported. Sami did not enter a plea at the hearing in the courtroom at the Santa Ana jail on Wednesday. The preliminary hearing is scheduled for September 21 at the Westminster Justice Center. The victim who was torn in half in the jumping off of the 21st Tan building was a heartbroken teenager. New York City, The person who jumped from the Mandarin Oriental Hotel last month has been identified as Noah Legaspi, a 17-year-old Filipino-American teenager who dreams of becoming a promising fashion designer from New Jersey. The family verified the victim's identity when speaking to reporters on August 23. They also confirmed the news in a Facebook post. "We must say with a painful heart, Noah has passed away. We received the news last night and are in the process of mourning. Our family appreciates the time and dedication everyone has put into finding Noah. The support is immeasurable and for that we are very grateful." The Colonia High School student, who was preparing to enter his final year of school, took a taxi from New Jersey to New York and jumped from the 21st floor of the Columbus Circle skyscraper at about 9 p.m. on August 17, according to reports of the police. The teen's body was cut in two after hitting the glass canopy. It is known that there were security cameras that recorded Legaspi entering the building and using the service elevator to get to the floor where he jumped. Investigators believe he entered the building through the store area and did not have identification at the time, and following this incident, authorities verified the victim's identity with his parents on August 21. The family said they last saw Noah when they dropped him off at his ex's house on August 17 in Perth Amboy, New Jersey. They only learned about Noah's location when his ex called. The victim had previously FaceTimed his ex while at the Mandarin Oriental, telling her, "Look at this beautiful view," and "I love you." Noah Legaspi's family believes that he could not bear the breakup of his ex. They searched for him in Avenel, New Jersey, hoping to find the description of a tall building that his girlfriend provided. They then reported the incident to the police. Noah Legaspi's family describes him as a teenager with many talents, but affected by psychological problems. Luis said that while his younger brother brought smiles to many people, there were also pressures within him. Legaspi's family told his ex-girlfriend that they didn't want her to get the impression that we were angry and blamed her, and they also said that it wasn't anyone's fault. Elderly man dies following traffic accident while crossing the road. Fresno, California, a 77-year-old man struck by a vehicle in downtown Fresno on Tuesday has succumbed to his injuries. Fresno Police Department has identified the victim as Mr. Mualai. The incident occurred on Hughes Avenue near Weber Avenue, just before 6:30 in the morning. According to police, Mr. Mualai was using a walker, heading east on Hughes Avenue when he was struck by a Chevrolet. He was transported to the Community Regional Medical Center, where he passed away. The driver involved in the accident has been temporarily stripped of their driver's license and is under investigation to determine if they were driving under the influence of alcohol. Public assistance needed to identify memory-impaired patient. Los Angeles, California. An unidentified man has been under care at Los Angeles General Medical Hospital for approximately 1 week. According to hospital staff, the man was found wandering near 833 N Broadway in the Chinatown area. He is unable to recall his name, residential address, or his intended destination. The patient also lacks any personal information or belongings to ascertain his identity. He is described as an elderly Asian male, around 75 years old, standing at approximately 5 feet 8 inches tall, weighing 145 pounds with an average build. He has short black and gray hair, and brown eyes. The man was found wearing black jeans with white stripes, a white striped light blue dress shirt, and a black fleece jacket with California Republic on the front. Anyone who recognizes this individual or has additional information is urged to contact Mercedes Mark, a clinical social worker at the hospital, at 323-409-3786. Former employee accused of embezzling from Asian Chamber of Commerce. Las Vegas, Nevada. A former employee of the Asian Chamber of Commerce, ACC, is facing charges of forgery, trespassing, and theft after allegedly embezzling thousands of dollars by writing checks to themselves and forging approving signatures, according to Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department, LVMPD. Tafai Loto Pillai is facing charges of forgery, trespassing, and theft after being accused of taking money in late 2022. Pillai's boyfriend, Talua Mua, is also charged with theft and trespassing. On December 19, 2022, the ACC's accountant contacted the police, reporting information about the former CEO of ACC, Pillai, improperly issuing business checks to themselves. LVMPD states that the total amount stolen and potentially linked to Pillai is $89,105.42. The money was typically stolen through ACC checks deposited into banks between October 14, 2022, and December 21, 2022, according to the police. The accountant stated that checks had to be approved by either Pillai or another ACC board member, but the signatures were forged. The police reported seeing Pillai on video multiple times depositing the checks at Money Tree. Pillai faced similar charges in 2019 while working for Fabulous Transportation, according to arrest records. She was accused of using a company-owned credit card to pay for personal expenses, but that case ultimately closed with no arrests made, the police stated. Pillai was arrested on September 13 by LVMPD. Court records show Pillai is facing 46 criminal charges. Her bail is set at $5,000, and the next court hearing is scheduled for September 20. Manhunt for suspect in attack on Asian woman. Boston, Massachusetts, MBTA Transit Police are currently searching for a man suspected of assaulting an Asian woman at a subway station earlier this month. The incident occurred at Broadway Station on the Red Line at approximately 1:15 p.m. on September 8. The suspect, captured on surveillance camera without a shirt, spat on the victim and made racially derogatory remarks related to her ethnicity, according to police reports. Possible charges may include assault, battery, and civil rights violations. This appears to be the second attack in just over a month on the Red Line. On August 4, a group of teenagers allegedly fired gel pellets directly at a 49-year-old woman's face after she requested them to behave respectfully. Anyone with information regarding the incident or the suspect is urged to contact the police at 617-222-1050. Trial begins for man accused of attempted murder. Wausau, Wisconsin, a 4-day trial is set to commence in November for a 32-year-old man accused of shooting a woman in 2022. The final pretrial hearing was conducted at the Marathon County Courthouse on Thursday in the case of Pao Vang. He remains incarcerated at the Marathon County Jail with bail set at $250,000. Pao Vang has pleaded not guilty to the attempted murder charges stemming from the incident in September 2022. He also faces charges related to the possession of THC, using a firearm while intoxicated, operating under the influence of alcohol, firearm possession, and child neglect. The court has allowed Pao Vang's attorney to request an adjustment to the cash bail amount before September 22. The trial is scheduled to take place from November 28 to December 1.